Good morning, this is Dr. Shaheen. Today I would like to discuss on computer forensics, Unit 3, Network Forensics Overview. Network forensics is the process of collecting and analyzing raw network data and tracking network traffic systematically to ascertain how an attack was carried out or how an event occurred on a network. Because network attacks are on the rise, there's more focus on this field and an increasing demand for skilled technicians. Labour forecasts predict a shortfall of 50,000 network forensics specialists in law enforcement, legal firms, corporations, and universities. So, network forensics can also help you determine whether a network is truly under attack or a user has inadvertently installed an untested patch or custom program. So, a lot of time and resources can be wasted determining that a bug in a custom compute program or an untested open source program caused the attack. So, network forensics examiners must establish standard procedures for how to acquire data after an attack or intrusion incident. Typically, network administrators want to find some compromise. So NIST created a guide to integrating forensic techniques into incident response to address these needs. Securing a network. Network forensics is used to determine how a security breach occurred. However, steps must be taken to harden networks before a security breach happens, particularly with recent increases in network attacks, viruses, and other security incidents. Hardening includes a range of tasks from applying the latest patches to using a layered network defense strategy, which sets up layers of protection to hide the most valuable data at the innermost part of the network. It also ensures that the deeper into the network an attacker gets, the more difficult access becomes and more safeguards are in place. So, the National Security Agency NSA developed a similar approach called the Defense in Depth DID strategy. These have three modes of protection: people, technology, and operations. If one mode of protection fails, the others can be used to thwart the attack. Listing people as a mode of protection means organizations must hire well qualified people and treat them well so that they have no reason to seek revenge. In addition, organizations should make sure employees are trained adequately in security procedures and are familiar with the organization's security policy. Physical and personal security measures are included in this mode of protection. The technology mode includes choosing a strong network architecture and using tested tools such as intrusion detection systems and firewalls. Regular penetration testing coupled with risk assessment can help improve network security. Having systems in place that allow quick and thorough analysis when a security breach occurs is also a part of technology mode of protection. Developing standard procedures for network forensics. So, network forensics is a long, tedious process, and unfortunately, the trail can go cold quickly. A standard procedure often used in network forensics as follows. Always use a standard installation image for systems on a network. This image isn't a bitstream image but an image containing all the standard applications used. So we should have MD5 or SHA-1 hash values of all applications and OS files. MD5 is message digest and SHA-1 is secure hash algorithm. When an intrusion incident happens, make sure the vulnerability has been fixed to prevent other attacks from taking advantage of the opening. Attempt to retrieve all volatile data such as RAM and running processes by doing a live acquisition before turning off the system. Acquire the compromised drive and make a forensic image of it. Compare all files on the forensic image to the original installation image. Compare hash values of common files such as win.exe and standard DLLs and ascertain whether they have changed. In computer forensics, you can work from the image to find most of the deleted or hidden files and partitions. Sometimes you restore the image to a physical drive so that you can run programs on the drive. In network forensics, you have to restore the drive to see how malware attackers have installed on the system works. For example, intruders might have transmitted a Trojan program that gives them access to the system and then installed a rootkit, which is a collection of tools that can perform network reconnaissance tasks using the ls or netstat command to collect information, for instance. So, key logging and other actions. So, reviewing the network tools. This can be done by recording the ingoing and outgoing traffic through network servers, routers, firewalls. Wireshark and TCP dump are some of the tools used for this purpose. A variety of tools are available for network administrators to perform remote shutdowns, monitor device use, and more. Sysinternals, which is from Microsoft, is a collection of free tools for examining Windows products. They were created by Mark Russinovich and Bryce Cox-Well and acquired by Microsoft. The following list describes a few examples of powerful window tools available at sysinternals. Redmond shows all the registry data in real time. Process Explorer shows what files, registry keys, and dynamic link libraries are loaded at a specific time. Handle shows what files are open and which processes are using these files. FileMon shows file system activity. One in particular that's worth investigating is PS Tools, a suite created by sysinternals that includes the following. PS Exec runs processes remotely. PS Getsit displays the security identifier of a computer or user. PS Kills, which kills the processes by name or process ID. PS List, it gives the list of detailed information about processes. PS Lockdown displays who's logged on locally. PS Password allows you to change your account passwords. PS Service enables you to view and control services. PS Shutdown shutdown and optionally restarts the computer. PS Suspend allows you to suspend processes. Next is Honeypot. A honeypot is an information system resource whose value lies in unauthorized or illicit use of that resource. Honeypot values are based on prevention, detection, and response. Prevention in the sense prevent automated attacks, for example, worms or autorouters. Detection is identify a failure or breakdown in prevention. Honeypot classification can be based on implementation, by purpose, or by level of interaction. Implementation may be by means of virtual or physical. Purpose may be based on protection or research, and level of interaction may be high, low, or middle level of interaction. That implementation of honeypot can be of two ways, physical and virtual. Physical may be implemented through real machine, own IP address, often high interactive. Virtual is simulated by other machines, that means respond to the traffic sent to the honeypot may simulate a lot of different or virtual honeypots at the same time. So the comparison of virtual honeypot and physical honeypot is virtual honeypot have real machines simulated by other machines. Real physical honeypot have real machines. NIC is typically high interaction, and so their maintenance cost is high, and it is impractical for large address space. Whereas virtual honeypot machines are simulated by other machines. Multiple virtual services and VMs can be done on single machine. Typically, it only simulates network level interactions, but still able to capture intrusion attempts. So the reason for proposing honeypot is based on the following research, that is, it is complex to deploy and maintain, captures extensive information, run by a volunteer, which means a non-profit, used to research the threats organization face. Production, its outcomes are easy to use, capture only limited information, used by compilers or companies and corporations, mitigates risk in organization. So overall, the advantage of using HoneyNet or Honeypot is they are focused for small data sets, helps to reduce false positive, helps to catch unknown attacks. It can capture encrypted activity. It works with IPv6 and very flexible with minimal resources, with requirement of minimal resources. But the disadvantage is field view is very limited and highly risk. This is the overview of network forensics. Thank you.